بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الأمين الكريم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم وصل عليه الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا حبيب الله. First of all, for myself and the organizers, we thank you for being here today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for all of you that are going on Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you all Hajj Mabrur, an accepted Hajj, a Hajj which changes your lives inshallah ta'ala. We normally have a lengthy seminar. I think the first one we did was about 3 hours when we first started off the Hajj seminars. But over the years we've tended to shorten them down. We have a long method, which is 3 hours. We have an intermediate method, which is medium method, which we'll be going through today, inshallah ta'ala. And then there's a very short method. The very short method is only 5 minutes. Yes, I did this yesterday, just before Asr Salah. I started 7, and I finished just before more or less 15 or 10 past. So it's very, very easy. In that sense, Hajj is very easy. Yes, the physical part of Hajj is very difficult. Yes, explaining part of the theory is very easy. The actually doing the Hajj while you're there can be a bit more strenuous. It can be a lot more difficult than what we say in words. So inshallah, if you pay attention, know who your tour guides are, know the people around you, inshallah ta'ala, you will won't have much difficulty in it. In terms of the matters that we have in Hajj, all you really have to concentrate on are the main matters in terms of what you need to do. Yes, the non-actions, you do not really need to know them. Yes, for example, some of the violations that we can do in terms of our Ihram, in terms of what we can't do, what are prohibited in while we are in Makkah, we will mention them, but we don't need to fully concentrate on them as well. And I find many a time that many people, they concentrate too much on the prohibitions of Hajj, within inside Makkah, that the rituals that they're actually meant to be making up and performing, they forget about all of them. So today, inshallah ta'ala, we'll be concentrating more on the rituals of Hajj as opposed to the prohibitions within Hajj, Umrah, within the city of Makkah, and the prohibitions that we have inside the state of Ihram. We will mention them, but I won't go into them into detail, inshallah. Firstly, the Hajj is fard upon us. Normally we do go through who is fard upon, how it's fard upon them, is it necessary for them to go on Hajj, to perform the Hajj, even though it might be fard upon them. We're not going to do that today, inshallah ta'ala. But I would say one thing, the verse which I recited, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, upon people is the Hajj of the Bayt, is the pilgrimage of the house which is associated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for those of us who have the strength, meaning they have the means. Yes, so we have to have the means. Now, all of you here, for as far as I'm aware, are all going on Hajj, so we don't really have to say if you got the means or not, you're going. Yes, so alhamdulillah, you have the means. But generally, it's, what do we mean by means? First of all, you have the strength and the health to do the Hajj, and most importantly, the wealth to do it in. Now, when we talk about wealth, for example, for it to be obligatory upon us, it's not just myself that I just go on Hajj and that's it. Yes, if I have a family, then I need enough wealth that will take care of me for the amount of days I am in Hajj, I am away from my family, and enough wealth to leave behind for my family for the days I am away. Yes, so both of these have to be covered for Hajj to be fard upon us. It's something that people tend to miss. What is that? Not just that you cover your own expenses to go on Hajj. I'm not sure what the price is, but 4,000 or 5,000 pounds, and you go on Hajj yourself and that's it. Forget about your family. Yes, no. For Hajj to be fard upon us, yeah, we pay that 4,000 or 5,000 pounds, but we also might need whatever people's expenses are. Let's say for the month that you're going, a cost to look after your family, your monthly expenditure of your family is 1,000 pounds. So you have to leave 1,000 pounds behind as well. Yes? For the Hajj to be fard upon you. If you have enough money to go to Hajj, but no money to leave back for your wife and your children, then Hajj will not be fard upon us. Okay, so this is something that I wanted to mention. Second thing I want to mention is as well, is more specific to the sisters, is that according to us, the Ahnaf, is that we have a condition for women for Hajj to be fard upon them, or rather for them to perform the Hajj, they have to have a mahram. Okay, a mahram is any person who is related to them that is completely forbidden upon them to marry. Yes, like a father, a brother, an uncle, a father-in-law. Okay, the brother-in-law will not come into this. A father-in-law will. Okay, so these people, sisters, will need a mahram of some sort. Even the husband, they have to travel with. If this mahram is not found, then in this case, the Hajj is not obligatory upon them to perform. Okay, and this is the position that we follow. Normally we do go through the spiritual aspects of Hajj, and we do go through many verses of the Quran, and we go through many ahadith and mubarakah, and we try to give a Sufi look to the Hajj. But I think it suffices to say that the journey of Hajj is a journey of a lifetime. Yes, it's something that you will probably never, or maybe never experience again. Yes? And your first Hajj is probably always the best Hajj as well, because the first time you experience it. The second, third Hajj you might do might not have the same, so to speak, vibe about it. Yes, it might not have that same feeling about it. So the first Hajj is always special. Yes, and this is what makes it a journey of a lifetime. And if you look into tasawwuf as well, into the lives of the ulama and the lives of the awliya ikram, we find that many of their openings came through Hajj. Yes, if you go through even the subcontinent awliya ikram, many of them, if you read their writings, their diaries, you'll find many of their openings, as in blessings that they got from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the wilayat, the authority that they got from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this was done in Hajj. Okay, if you look at Khwaja Gharib Nawaz, he went on Hajj first and then he went back, didn't he? Yes, then he was ordered to come towards India. Yes, similarly with Ali Hajweri from Lahore, he did similar. And various, you have many Shaykh Ibn Arabi rahimahullah, and various other awliya ikram, the great openings came to them while they were in Hajj. Our own Imam Abu Hanifa, when he was on Hajj, his actual great opening in terms of that when he spread his own works out into the ummah were in Hajj. Yes, the great opening came to him then. Meaning some enlightenment came to him to say, okay, now you need to go forward and spread this out into the ummah. So in that sense, Hajj is a very spiritual time as well. And inshallah ta'ala, as we go through the procedure of Hajj, we will tell you what each place is about. Okay, what it spiritually represents as well, inshallah. Before we begin, I'm not going to go through like what's fard, what's wajib, what's sunnah in Hajj. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight into the description of Hajj, and whenever a fard pops up, whenever a wajib pops up, whenever a sunnah pops up, I'll tell you that this is fard, wajib and sunnah. If you do it the other way, it'll just take too much time. But before we begin, one of the conditions of Hajj is Ihram, and I want to get this out of the way first. Ihram for men is 2 sheets. Yes? I think you have 2 types of ihrams these days. A normal cloth, I would say that's the sunnah and that's preferred. And then you have the so-called towel cloth, ihrams, okay, which you can use as well. I would prefer for men to wear the normal sheets of cloth. This is a bit thin, but something like this. Okay, yeah, like kafni cloth. It's just 2 sheets. It's called the izar and the rida. Okay, we will just call the qamis. Okay, the izar covers your lower garment. Okay, and it's easy to fasten. Yes, so those of you that have ever worn a dhoti, you can probably fasten it very easily in that sense. Okay, and the upper garment, that just falls over your shoulders. And we'll tell you a specific action that we do while we are doing tawaf. When we get there, we'll tell you what to do with the upper garment. So the lower garment is very, very easy to fasten. And the towel ones are even easy to fasten as opposed to the first one. Wearing belts, something to hold your passport or things like this is also something that is permissible for you to wear. Somebody asked me a question yesterday regarding sunglasses. Okay, sunglasses are fine, yes, especially if the sun is very bright and it's harming your eyes, then in that case you can wear sunglasses. There's nothing harmful with that. Same thing with normal glasses, you can wear this in Ihram.
They've also introduced recently Ihram's towel ones, and they've made it into looks like a skirt.
Okay.
They put an elastic into it, so can we tell everybody to refrain?
Yeah, we refrain from that. We do not use the elastic Ihrams. So if there is elastic in them, this is not permissible for men. It has to be unstitched. Yes, just normal cloth, unstitched cloth. Yes, and this is necessary. So in this Ihram as well, one of the prohibitions is that we cannot wear stitched clothing. Yes, and for men you can't cover your hair. You cannot cover your hair, your head. Sorry. I will tell you the prohibitions here now as well. That one of the prohibitions is that you cannot wear perfume before you come into the state of Ihram. Okay, you can wear as much perfume as you like. Yes, if you want to have a bath in it, you can. Yes, but once you are in the state of Ihram, these are two different concepts. Okay, the clothes of Ihram and the state of Ihram are two different things. Yes, so the two sheets are a separate thing, and the state of Ihram is a different thing. I'll tell you what the state of Ihram is a bit later on, inshallah. So one of the prohibitions in the state of Ihram is what? You cannot wear perfume, you can't remove hair, okay, and you can't pluck your hair, okay, you can't use any fragrant products, okay. So all these things are prohibited in the state of Ihram. The most culprit is either perfume or wearing stitched clothing. Okay, this is something that many people, many men fall into, so we have to be very careful of these things.
Can you wear odorless deodorant?
Yeah, odorless deodorant you can wear, as long as it's made from natural things or chemicals. Okay, what we mean by fragrance is something that smells nice, but it's not natural to that product. Okay, it's not natural to that product. For example, if you get a juice drink, now the orange juice has a fragrance to it. Yes, if you drink that, that's fine. But if you get something like soap, fragrance has been added into that soap. Okay, that will not be permissible. Same thing with attar. Yes, it will not be permissible for you to wear in the state of Ihram. The sisters' Ihram is simple, is whatever clothes they are wearing. The only prohibition here for sisters is that they have to leave their face uncovered in Hajj. Okay. Some people, if you might see Indonesians, they tend to have like a tent kind of hijab, niqab, yes, where they have two sticks. So they hold the sticks and they have the cloth over it. So they still cover themselves. The prohibition is no part of the lady's cloth should be touching her face. Okay, so this is the only prohibition you have. Other than that, your ihram is the normal clothes that you normally wear. This is the ihram. Now the state of Ihram. What's the state of Ihram? State of Ihram is a combination of these clothes. Okay, it's the combination of your intention, the intention that you will make that I intend to do Hajj, and also the talbiyah. Yes, the talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, all the way to the end. Okay, when these three things have been combined, then you are in the state of Ihram. Okay, then you are in the state of Ihram. So those prohibitions that we mentioned regarding scent and things like this and removing hair, these will now be necessary to follow. This is why we then say that you can wear the clothes of Ihram. Yes, for example, I'm not sure how the flight plans are, but if you're stopping in Turkey or Dubai or wherever you're going, then you can wear your Ihram at the airport, okay, and then set onto the plane, set off, and I would say maybe when there's half an hour, 45 minutes left for you to land, then you can make an intention and make your talbiyah. Now you are in the state of Ihram. It just saves you the trouble of being in the state of that prohibition or where you can't do certain things. Okay, is that made clear? Yes.
Well, some people pray through nafil.
Yeah, we're going to come to that. We're going to come to that. I thought I'll explain these requirements first, then we come to that. The whole method we're going to do, inshallah. Some of these things will be repeated again. So you got the Ihram, and now you got the state of Ihram. State of Ihram is what? The Ihram clothing, then the intention, then you have the Talbiyah. Then you are in the state of Ihram. Okay. Now this state of Ihram is a requirement before you go surpass the Miqat. A Miqat is a boundary around the Haram. Okay, is around the Haram. Sayyidina Nabi, did you find the pen? No? Okay. Is a boundary around the outside of Makkah, but it can go as far as Medina as well. Okay, so it's just a boundary that we have. You cannot enter into that boundary without being in the state of Ihram. I.e., we have to enter within the Miqat towards Makkah with Ihram on and being in the state of Ihram. If we enter it without the state of Ihram, then we say a thing called dam. Okay, dam is just a sacrifice that we have to give, a penalty that we have to give, which is a goat or a sheep. In terms of Hajj, there are 3 types of Hajj. Okay, the first is Hajj Ifrad. None of you will be doing this. Okay, I'm hoping anyway. Hajj Ifrad. Hajj Ifrad is that you just got in there in the nick of time, yes, just to perform your Hajj. So you got there, you do Tawaf Qudum. So you go to Makkah, you do Tawaf Qudum like a welcoming Tawaf, and then you set off straight to Arafat. You go straight to Arafat. Here there's no Umrah. In this one there is no Umrah. It comes from Ifrad, which means singular. Here what we're saying is that you're just solely doing Hajj, there's nothing else. This is Hajj Ifrad, and then you go through the rites of Hajj. Then you have Hajj Tamattu, and all of you, or majority of you, especially the beginners, first timers, will be doing Hajj Tamattu. Hajj Tamattu is doing Umrah first, and then doing Hajj. Doing Umrah first, and then performing Hajj. Okay, but there's a fine line here. The fine line is, when you set off from home, whenever you make your intention for Ihram, you do not make intention for Hajj, you only make intention for Umrah. So when you set off to go to Makkah, you make the intention of Umrah. You perform your Umrah, then you take off your Ihram, and you reside in Makkah till the days of Hajj. That's till the 8th of Zil Hijjah. When the 8th of Zil Hijjah comes, you place on the Ihram of Hajj now. So the intention that you make now is what? You put on your Ihram, the intention now you make is of Hajj. Yes? Then you're in the state of Ihram again. Then you go off and perform your Hajj. Once you performed your Hajj, in Hajj Tamattu, a sacrifice will be necessary. Yes? On the 10th of Zil Hijjah, and we'll explain that later on again, inshallah. But the main difference here is what? In Hajj Tamattu, that we do Umrah, we take off Ihram, and we do Hajj. The third type of Hajj and the final type of Hajj is Hajj Qiran. Hajj Qiran, it means to combine Hajj and Umrah within the same Ihram. So whenever you come into the state of Ihram, meaning before Miqat, before you enter into the boundary of Miqat, whenever you decide to make intention, here you make intention of Hajj and Umrah together. So what's the difference between Qiran and Hajj Tamattu? In Hajj Tamattu, when we set off towards Makkah, we only made the intention of Umrah. In Hajj Qiran, we're making intention of both Hajj and Umrah. That means this Ihram that we have come into, the state of Ihram that we have come into, is for both Hajj and Umrah. Yes? Whereas before in Hajj Tamattu, it was only for Umrah. Okay? So now here, when you perform the Umrah, you won't shave your head, sisters won't clip their hair, and we'll explain this further again. So you won't clip your hair, meaning you do your Umrah, the hair will not be removed, and you stay in the state of Ihram. How many ever days you have till the days of Hajj, 8th of Zil Hijjah, you will stay in the state of Ihram. When the 8th of Zil Hijjah comes, you'll do a Tawaf Qudum. Tawaf Qudum, a welcoming Tawaf, but for Hajj this time. Okay, welcoming Tawaf, just a Nafli Tawaf. Okay, read the Nafal after it, and then you set off towards Mina, and you will carry on with the rites of Hajj. And in this also, on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, a sacrifice will be necessary. Yes, and we'll explain that later on again, inshallah. Okay, so these are the three types of Hajj. I would have written it on the board, but I haven't got a pen. Hajj Ifrad, Hajj Tamattu, and Hajj Qiran. Okay, so Hajj Ifrad is a single Hajj. Hajj Tamattu, you start off with Umrah, take off Ihram, come out of the state of Ihram, and then do Hajj afterwards. And then you have Hajj Qiran, where you start off with the intention of Hajj and Umrah together. Okay, Hajj and Umrah together. Now this also explains our intentions for all three. Yes. If you're doing Hajj Ifrad, then all we need to say in our intention is that I intend to perform Hajj for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And oh Allah, make it easy for me and accept it from me. In Hajj Tamattu, we will make the intention of Umrah and we will say, oh Allah, I intend to perform Umrah. Accept it from me, make it easy for me. Yes? And in Hajj Qiran, we will make an intention in this manner, oh Allah, I intend to perform Hajj and Umrah. Okay? This is the Sunnah method. Okay? This is the Sunnah method. Even though in actually performing it, you do it the other way around. You do Umrah first and then Hajj. The Prophet also mentioned it in this manner. Okay? Where he said, Allahumma inni uridul hajja wal umrata. Yes? So he said, oh Allah, I intend to do Hajj and Umrah. Even though when it comes to the performance, we do Umrah first and then Hajj, but the Sunnah method is how the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned it. Accept both of them from me and make both of them easy for me. Okay. So these also explain the intention now that you need to make. Okay. So whichever Hajj you are performing, you will first of all put the Ihram on, then you will make the intention. Okay, so today we'll be describing Hajj Tamattu because all of you, more or less all of you, will be performing Hajj Tamattu. Okay, so we're going to be describing that today. Okay, so when we start with that, we will say, oh Allah, I intend to perform Umrah, accept it from me and make it easy for me. That's your intention. Then you will do the Talbiyah, Labbaik, Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik laka sharika laka Labbaik, yeah, innal hamda wa ni'mata, all the way to the end. Okay. Once you have done that, now you are in the state of Ihram. Okay? So is everybody clear on the three types of Hajj and the intentions? Okay? So like I said, we're going to be describing Hajj Tamattu. Hajj Tamattu. But before we go into that, before we set off in our journey, is a practice of our people that we seek forgiveness from those who we are associated to. Okay, it's not a so-called requirement of Hajj, but because this is also a spiritual journey, yes, it spiritually grows you, yes, and you gain the closeness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you do not want any obstacles in terms of your spiritual journey as well. So this is a good practice as well, where our people who are associated to us, our friends, family, we ask them for forgiveness. If we have done anything to them, then we ask them for forgiveness. It's just a general even sunnah that the Sahaba Ikram used to follow, not just for Hajj, but for any journey. Yes, and you might have seen it in your elders. I know now we don't really care. We can just travel all the way to London and back, and we couldn't care less. Yes, but you might have seen in previous times somebody will go to London and they meet each other like they're not going to meet, never going to meet again. Okay. People go to Pakistan, and nowadays it just seems like they've gone 1 week and they're back into the UK again. But in the past, you must have seen the elders, they would meet in such a way that like they're never going to meet again. Okay, so this was really a practice of the Sahaba. Okay, this is why I'm calling it Sunnah, because it was really a practice of the Sahaba. They would meet each other as though that they would never see each other again. Why? Because it's not known when death will come. Yes. That is specified by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but He hasn't revealed it to us. Yeah? So whenever we do part away from each other, then we do not know if we will ever meet each other. Okay, this is how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if I remember the Sahaba's name, Muaz bin Jabal, yes, the young companion, I believe he was 18 years old when he left for Yemen. Roughly around 18 to 20 years old he was when he left for Yemen, and the Prophet made him the judge of Yemen. Yes, but in that, didn't the Prophet meet him in such a way that they will never meet him again? Yes, the Prophet was crying. But they actually gave him a hint as well that when you return back to Medina, I won't be here. Yes, meaning the next year the Prophet ﷺ, Wisal Mubarak, the Prophet's demise, blessed demise had taken place. But look at the way the Prophet met him, as though they would never see him again. Yes, so this is also a sign as well, that is also a sunnah of the Prophet. But majority of the times we get narrations from the Sahaba Ikram who performed this sunnah. So we should do that. We should make sure that we meet everybody, especially if we have harmed somebody. Yes, our enemies. Yes, put all our dealings to a side and seek forgiveness from people. We do not want our huquq al-ibad to be an obstacle in our journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in gaining His closeness. So we make sure we do these things. Now once you made the intention and you've got everything ready, you will set off. Okay. I'm not sure of your flight plans, so we'll just go with the plan that you have placed on your clothes of Ihram. Okay, so clothes of Ihram for men were the 2 sheets, unstitched, and for sisters were the clothes that they wear, with only the restriction of that they cannot cover their face, or they cannot have any part of the cloth upon their face. Now, like we said, when you get close to Makkah al-Mukarramah, I would say 45 minutes to be on the safe side before landing, you come into the state of Ihram. The reason I say that is because Jeddah airport, according to some ulamas, comes under the miqat. Okay, there's 3 groups of ulama actually. Some say that it falls under the miqat. Some say that it doesn't fall under the miqat, but they say that the flight route that's taken, right, the way the plane comes into Jeddah airport, the plane actually falls under the miqat and then comes into landing. And the other group says no, that the city and Jeddah airport are totally out of the miqat. Okay, but according to my tahqiq, Jeddah airport does fall under the miqat. Okay, this is my own research based. This Jeddah airport does fall under the miqat. So in that case, this is why I say 45 minutes before landing, you will make the intention. Okay. Somebody asked the question a week ago, and I thought it's good to explain as well, because sometimes you forget to make your intention as well. You say, I will make my intention when I get 45 minutes close to Jeddah airport, and you find yourselves that you're too busy eating, or you're asleep, or you totally forgot. Yes? So in that case, what do you do? In that case, what do you do? If you surpassed it, then in this case, what will happen is that you will give the dam. In this case, okay, because you never had the intention. Another person brought a matter to me, which was that last year, he was on Hajj, but he thought he will put his Ihram on in the plane itself. Yes, he was a male, he thought he'll put on the sheets of Ihram within the plane. But what happened was he forgot. Yes, he forgot, and what happened was that they got close to roughly, I think he was saying 10 minutes before they landed. Okay. Now what happened was he didn't know what to do. Yes. And he didn't have time. Yes. But he said that we were not in the miqat. He confirmed with the person, one of the stewardess on the plane, that they were not within the miqat. They were still slightly out. And in this case, what do you do? Because he said that I had no time to put on my ihram, because he was waiting in line for the toilet. So what do you do in this state? Yes, in this state, what you can do is whatever you're wearing, yes, make your intention, and do the talbiyah. You are in the state of ihram. You are in the state of ihram. Okay. The stitched clothing that we mentioned in the starting, which is a prohibition in the state of ihram. Yes, you only need to give a sacrifice if you wore them for more than half a day. Okay, with stitched clothing for men, if you have worn stitched clothing for more than half a day, that's when the penalty comes upon you. If it's only for half an hour, 20 minutes, couple of seconds, couple of minutes, then we give a sadaqah. Yes, we give a sadaqah, which is the same price as your fitrana. Was in the UK £4. Yes, similar to that. Yes, so you can give that in charity basically, just give an extra amount. You can give that in charity. So if this situation arises, where you haven't got the sheets of Ihram on, and you're getting close to Miqat, and you haven't even got time to change as well, then in that case, make your intention, do the talbiyah, you are in the state of Ihram. Then when you land, whenever you get a chance to put on your sheets, when you're inside Miqat, then in that case, you just have to give a sadaqah. Okay? So now once we are in the state of Ihram, we do talbiyah. Talbiyah we will always carry on. Yes, this is your wird, this is your zikr, this is your litany throughout Hajj. Yes, labbaik Allahumma labbaik. This will be your wird that you'll have. Okay, and the sunnah is when you meet somebody new, you say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Yes, read the whole thing all the way to the end, and when you meet somebody, when you depart away from somebody, you'll depart and say the talbiyah again. Yes, when your plane goes high in altitude, you say labbaik Allahumma labbaik. When it goes down, you say labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Yes, when there's turbulence, you say labbaik Allahumma labbaik. The truth is, if you want to put in a nutshell, is every time you change state, you say labbaik Allahumma labbaik. The Prophet ﷺ, when he traveled towards Makkah, when he went up a mountain, a hill, so to speak, he said labbaik. When he came down, he said labbaik. When he met somebody new, he said labbaik. Yes, every time the Prophet changed. If he sat down, he said labbaik. When he stood, he said labbaik. So the principle behind it is every time you change state, then in this case we read the talbiyah. This is the wird that we have, okay, in Hajj. So now once we are in the state of Ihram, our intention, because we're describing Hajj Tamattu, will be that, oh Allah, I intend to do Umrah, accept it from me and make it easy for me. So now we are in the state of Ihram, we will travel towards Makkah. When we get into Makkah, it's sunnah to enter through Babus Salam. Okay, I haven't been for a long time. Is it closed now? Yes. So it's closed now. I think the best gate would be Fahad Gate. Abdul Aziz. Okay.
We opened it yesterday.
Okay. So Bab Abdul Aziz. Is that the Zamzam Tower side? Yeah.
Abdul Aziz, Bab Fahad, 2, 3, 4, 5 are open.
Okay.
Hopefully, inshallah, before Hajj they'll be all open.
They're all open. Okay. So Babus Salam at the moment in time is closed. But the rest of the gates, Bab Abdul Aziz, Bab Fahad, towards the Zamzam Tower side, they should be open. But the sunnah anyway, if you do find it, is Babu Salam, if it's open. This is towards Safa and Marwa side, okay? Towards the house of the Prophet, where the house of, I think there's a library, isn't it? Where the library is, the door that's straight opposite it is Babu Salam. You can enter through this door. This is the sunnah door to enter through. Once we enter, obviously we do say that first of all, sort your luggage out. Yes, go to your hotel. If you want to have a rest, have a rest. Make sure your luggage is safe, everything is safe, and then go towards performing your umrah. We find many people they're tired and they don't really contemplate, and they just put their luggage in and they just go straight out. Okay, and then they don't really get that spiritual growth, they don't get that feeling of Hajj, and all it is just rush. Yes, you're not going anywhere. Yes, you're here for the next 10, 20 days. Yes, you're going to stay here. You're not going to get late for anything, you're not going to miss an appointment.
Just a question about it. So brothers who may have long hair,
Yes.
are they allowed to tie their hair? Are they allowed to put clips in to hold it up, just to avoid the penalty of hair falling out?
Within the Hanafi Mazhab, we won't tie our hair, because according to us, holding the hair down or tying the hair is makruh in the state of Ihram. Okay, so you won't tie your hair in that respect. Okay, sisters can do that, men will not. Okay, men will leave their.
And further to that, about braiding your hair, is that jais to do in makruh?
Not in Ihram. Not in Ihram, no. It's sunnah to braid your hair, okay, for men, not all of the hair though, okay, just one or two. The Prophet, I think, in one narration, the Prophet had 4, yes, 2 on either side, but not like, we call it gut, not like tied at the back. The Prophet never did that, okay. The sunnah is only 1 or 2. One narration says that the Prophet had 2 on one side, okay. Sayyidina Ali used to braid his hair, okay, but not again, he never braided all of his hair, he never tied them together in one place, Okay, he only braided one of them. It actually became a sign of his offspring. Other than the Hassani Hussaini Sadat, they never did this, but the Alawis did this. Yes, meaning Sayyidina Ali's other offspring, like Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, he was known to braid his hair. So it became a sign of Sayyidina Ali's offspring that they used to braid their hair. The Prophet said when he entered Makkah Sharif in Fateh Makkah, he had his hair braided. Okay, but the Prophet wasn't in Ihram at that time. Yes, that was a state of war. Okay, where the Prophet went in. Okay, so that was the exception, but not in the state of Ihram, not for men. Okay, men will leave their hair open in the state of Ihram. Okay. Forgot where we were. Yeah. So what I was saying was nice peace, tranquility. Yes. Keep the awe of this place in your heart at all times. Yes. Know where you are. It's a city that's associated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A city where the Prophet was born. And in a city where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, whoever enters it is in security. And this is another thing that we have as well. There are certain things when you enter into the city of Makkah that are prohibited upon you as well. For example, hunting is prohibited upon you. Yes? Even though you're not going to be hunting, but it's prohibited upon you. Removing grass and trees, yes, plants in the city of Makkah is completely prohibited upon you. Yes, you can't do this. So meaning, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَنْ دَخَلَهُ كَانَ آمِنًا, that whoever enters into this city is in security, then everything that enters into the city is in security. Yes. For example, according to us, if a criminal outside of Makkah ran into Makkah, yes, into the Haram, we can't do anything to him, as in our Hanfi ruling in terms of law. But what we'll do is we'll boycott him. Nobody will sell him anything, nobody will give him food. Yes, until he gets tired and he comes out. When he comes out, that's when we'll arrest him. Yes, we will arrest him, or in another sense to say that we will apply the punishment Islamically upon him. But while he's in Makkah, we cannot apply the punishment on him. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, whoever enters it is in security. So in this sense, you will have to abide by this rule as well, that everything in that city has security. Look at in a Sufi aspect that everyone has security, that there should be no arguing. This is actually prohibited as well. Yes, no arguing, no slanderous talk, yeah? No backbiting, no pushing and shoving. Yes, definitely no fighting, fist fighting. That, yes, and various things like this. These are all prohibited while you are in Makkah and while you are in the state of Ihram. So you have to be really, really careful of this. But the main thing I want to mention is that we keep the awe of this place in our hearts. Many people rush, and because of that, they forget where they are. Yes, and then what happens? They just keep rushing. If anybody comes in front of them, they just push, shove everything, and is all chaos breaks loose. Keep the awe of this place in mind. The amount of rewards you'll be getting for good deeds, yes, the same amount of bad deeds you'll have if you do a mistake as well. Okay, so be very, very careful in this regard. So once you've taken care of everything, put your head down, lower yourself, humble yourself before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that you're traveling towards the Masjid al-Haram now. You're going, you're walking. If you can get in from Babu Salam, then good. If you can't, should be open. Should try. Depending on where you are, it might just be a bit of a walk. Yeah. So if you're on Zamzam Tower side, it's a bit of a walk, isn't it? You have to go all the way around. So if you can try from Babu Salam, go in. Babu Salam, you have to be very, very careful. Is that bridge leading over the
down to the basement?
The basement now. Okay, they changed it then. Yes. When it's easier to go through Babu Abdulaziz. Okay, then you go straight in. Signposted. Yes. All the way around. Okay. So if you do go now, they change. If you go through Babu Salam, you're going to go through the basement. So whichever door you enter through, follow the signs and lower your head and try not to take a peep at the Kaaba. Okay. The reason we say that is try to find a safe place to park yourself. Okay, there's going to be a rush. You don't want to just stop in the middle and people just walk over you. So find a safe place. I can't remember if there used to be barriers around the masjid before the Mutaf area.
It's all open.
It's
now.
all open now.
Yeah. But
Okay.
A lot of the times, if the Mataf area is
Yes.
busy, then the first floor is usually used for
Okay.
the Tawaf.
The
as well.
Tawaf, yes.
Yeah, but a lot of the times, as soon as you enter the Masjid, there's
Yes.
enough
Enough
space there
Okay.
to pray your two
Yes.
rakat namaz, tahiyatul Masjid.
Yes. So in this case now when you enter, find a safe place to look at the Kaaba. The reason we say this is because the first sight of the Kaaba, the dua that you make at that time is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And we always mention here that Imam Abu Hanifa once said that the best dua to make at this point, rather than excessive dua, okay, start saying, oh Allah, I want this and I want this, and so and so wanted this from me and so and so wanted that from you, and then you pull out your diary and read everybody's names out. The best thing to do is what Imam Abu Hanifa used to make dua, because this dua is accepted. He made the dua that, oh Allah, make me of those people whose duas are accepted. Okay? Just a little loophole. Okay? That means that this dua is accepted, which means that then you are a person whose duas are accepted. Now which means that whenever you remember somebody that you have to make dua for, or for yourself, you can make it, and inshallah ta'ala is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the time, look at the Kaaba, stare at the Kaaba, glare at the Kaaba. Yes? Staring is normally something that's not very nice, but in this case, it's a worship. Okay? So stare at the Kaaba, look at the Kaaba. Look at in this sense that every Nabi that came, every Wali that came was facing towards the Kaaba at some point and praying. Yes? So the focus, spiritual focus of every single prophet and spiritual focus of every single wali, scholar, of every single Muslim is the Kaaba. Yes? So imagine how many spiritual blessings you get from just looking at the Kaaba. Yes? If you look at it, they say if you see a scholar, it's like worship. Yes? It's like gaining blessings from him. Yes? Said regarding Sayyidina Ali that looking at his face is worship. Yes? But then Sayyidina Ali is looking at the Kaaba. Yes? Many awliya came, they were looking at the Kaaba. Yes? So imagine how many spiritual blessings the Kaaba holds in itself. So staring at it, looking at it, contemplating, thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring you many spiritual growths and many spiritual openings as well. Once you've done that, try to now find the Hajr Aswad. If you come through Babu Salam, it will be more or less directly in front of you. Okay? The green lights, if they're still there, are the signs to let you know which side the Hajr Aswad is. We're going to perform Umrah now. You're going to find the Hajr Aswad. If you can get to Hajr Aswad, the black stone, here we will kiss the stone. The kissing is done without a sound. Okay? So you're just placing your lips on it and then back again. Okay? It's not with the sound. This is what we call the kissing of the stone. You will say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. So when you kiss it, you will say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. If you're close to it but cannot get close enough to kiss it, then it is a sunnah to get a stick, have a stick and touch the black stone and then say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. Sorry, you say it first and then touch it or then kiss it. And if you're really far back, then we do the istilam or the ishara, which is you just raise your hands, you say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar and kiss the back of your hand. Okay? A lot of people miss that. Yeah? Kiss the back of your hand. This is documented by our ulama ikram that you do kiss the back of your hand. Okay? The Hanafi ulama have documented this. Now when you are there, once you've started, if the Hajr Aswad is here, okay, you will go around anti-clockwise, so you're going around that way. Okay. Once you go around, I'm trying to figure out where's the Maqam Ibrahim. Say right there. It's over here. So the door's here, isn't it?
Yeah, Kaaba doors there.
Yeah. Ibrahim's there. Hatim's here. Yeah? No, Hatim will be here then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the Hatim. Right. So once you started your place here at Hajr Aswad, most likely you're going to do the istilam. there's no way. You'll be a lucky person if you actually get to the black stone and get to kiss it as well. But more than likely you won't. Okay, more than likely in the mataf you'll be somewhere around here. Okay, and you won't get to do it. So when you see the black stone, you will say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. Once you've done that, kiss the back of your hand. You will go anti-clockwise. The door of the Kaaba is here. The maqam is here, maqam Ibrahim. This is the hatim. We call it hijr actually in Arabic. Okay, hijr. Which is in Urdu we call it the hatim. Then you have Rukn Yamani. This is Rukn Yamani. I'm only going to mention this Rukn because it's important. Okay. Once you start, but before you, I'm going to say nothing. Every time you come back to Hajar Aswad, you will raise your hand, say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar, and kiss the back of your hand. Okay, and you're going to do 7 rounds like this. How many? 7 rounds. So when we start from Hajar Aswad, okay, the Kaaba will be towards your left hand side. You will go. When you get to the Hatim, don't think that I found a shortcut and go straight through. Okay, no, you will do the Tawaf from around the Hatim. Okay, this area here is part of the Kaaba. If you go in there, you are literally inside the Kaaba. Okay, but hence why, because we have to do Tawaf of the Kaaba, okay, and not through the Kaaba. So this is why we have to go all the way around. When we get to Rukn Yamani, we also do Istilam of Rukn Yamani, and is a sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Okay, the actual sunnah is that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to lean on the wall. Okay, as in, because he was walking right next to the Kaaba. So when he used to turn the corner from Rukn Yamani, he used to put his hand on Rukn Yamani and then turn the corner. But before he did that, the Prophet ﷺ used to kiss Rukn Yamani. Yes, the Prophet used to kiss Rukn Yamani as well. Okay. So for us, if you get a chance to kiss it, then kiss it. If you don't, then same thing. You will just put your hand up and just indicate that you've kissed Rukn Yamani. And you don't have to say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar for this. That's for Hajar Aswad. Okay. So for this, you can just kiss the back of your hand, and it is a sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to do that. The question is why? Why do kiss Hajar Aswad? We understand. Rukn Yamani, why not these two? Okay. The reason is these two corners are still on the foundation of Sayyidina Ibrahim. When Sayyidina Ibrahim built the Kaaba, these two corners are actually on that foundation. Yes. What happened was, the Kaaba at some point used to be extended all the way to here. Okay. But when they rebuilt it, for some reason, they forgot where the actual foundation was. Yes. So when they rebuilt the Kaaba in the time of the Prophet, or before the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they actually lost the foundations for these two corners. Okay. So then, yeah, Rukn Yamani, Iraqi and Shami. So these two corners, the Rukn Iraqi and Shami, these two corners, they actually forgot where they were. So then they just built it, however, they built it and then put the Hatim there to signify that this is also part of, or they think that is part of the Kaaba as well. Okay. So for that, these two stones or pillars are still on the foundation of Sayyidina Ibrahim. Because of that, it shows that they are blessed corners. Yes. They have many blessings in them. This is why the Prophet ﷺ used to kiss them. Okay. And you can do that in your Tawaf, by the way. So now when you come past that, done the Istilam of that, that will be your first round. Like this, you will do 7 rounds. 7 rounds. But for the men, sisters fine, I've got everything easy. They just can just walk around it if they like. As for men, because this is Umrah. Okay, we're describing Umrah here. What you will do is your rida, your top garment, you will do a thing that we call istiba. What will you do? A thing called istiba. Istiba is simple. You will just uncover your right shoulder. Yes? Just uncover your right shoulder. So basically you put the shawl on in such a way that it comes from underneath your right arm and over the top left shoulder. Okay? So that's how you'll wear it. diagonally. This is done for all 7 rounds for men. How many rounds? Don't get confused with this. A lot of people will confuse you. Okay? Some people will tell you that this is done for 3 rounds. It's not done for 3 rounds. This is done for 7 rounds. Okay? What's done for 3 rounds? This is for men. Sisters don't have to worry about these 2 things. So you do istiba for all 7 rounds, and then we have a thing called ramal. We have a thing called ramal. Ramal, I call the big man's walk or a big man's jog. And this is, the truth is, he actually came out because of this. The reason the Prophet did it was because the first time the Prophet came to Makkah from Medina, the kuffar of Quraysh, they said, oh, look at the air of Medina was good for them. They become weak, they're lazy, they're weak. Yes. So then the Prophet ﷺ told the Sahaba Ikram to put their chests out, yes, and swing their arms, yes, and more or less jog to show that they are healthy and they are strong. So this is what the Sahaba Ikram did. This is done for the first 3 rounds. This is done for the first 3 rounds. But just as a principle for the men to know when they do ramal, when they do ramal. Any tawaf which has sa'i after it, any tawaf which has sa'i after it, in that tawaf you will do ramal in the first 3 rounds. Okay? For example, look, normally you can just go do a nafli tawaf, don't you? There's no sa'i after it. Yes? In that case, you can just walk around it at your own pace. But every time you want to do a umrah, you'll have to do ramal in the first 3 rounds. Why? Because after this tawaf, there is a sa'i. You're going to go to Safa and Marwa. So now this is, you've done the istiba and you have done the ramal. Istiba for 7 rounds and ramal in the first 3 rounds. Sisters don't have to worry about this. They can just walk around. Somebody asked me a question yesterday as well. What if you have people with you that you can't exactly leave behind as well? Yes, so what do you do in that sense? Okay, is you're not going to walk in the first 3 rounds, but what you can do is that you can stay with the person you are, okay, and maybe when they get a bit ahead of you, you then more or less run up to them, okay, and don't stop though. You keep moving your feet. So if you're on the same spot, you just keep moving your feet, and you can do that. So it doesn't have to be in a sprint, it's just like a slow jog. So even if you're jogging on the spot, yes, that will carry on your ramal. So this is done for the first 3 rounds. Now, once you've done your tawaf, okay, or one thing I would mention as well is people ask, what do I read in my tawaf? Read whatever you like, okay. As a default, sometimes we're human, sometimes mind goes blank, we don't know what to read. As a default, just program your mind to read the 3rd kalma. Yes? You know the 3rd kalma, you can then just program your mind to read that, because that's one of the sunnah du'as to read, the glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Read that. But other than that, if you want to pray for somebody, want to pray for yourself, want to make the personal dua for yourself, everything is permissible. We would have given you the Hajj books, but we're out of stock. Okay. In that, we've also written that Imam, somebody has one, alhamdulillah. Imam Muhammad said, the best dua is that which comes from the heart. Yes, as opposed to chanting something that you don't understand. Yes? So in that sense, try to make dua from the heart. Something that means something to you, as opposed to just saying something that you don't know what it means. Okay? But go with your state. The point of what Imam Muhammad said was, he's trying to say that you go with your own state. Yes? You don't want to be in a state of forgiveness, where you want to seek forgiveness, and then you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessings, because your state and your dua do not seem to match. Yes? So you have to be very careful in this regards as well, in terms of go with your state. If you're in a state where you want forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then ask forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you're in a state where you want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for actually letting you be here, then thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that state. Yes? So you have to go with your states as well. So once we have done the 7 rounds of this Umrah, of Tawaf Umrah. We will then come to Maqam Ibrahim. If what we'll try to do is try to pray 2 rakats behind Maqam Ibrahim. 2 rakats behind Maqam Ibrahim. These 2 rakats, any tawaf that you perform, any tawaf, nafli tawaf, sunnah tawaf, farz tawaf, wajib tawaf, whatever it is, okay, these 2 nafals are like they are part of the tawaf. Your tawaf is only complete when you have done these 2 rakats, okay. And it's sunnah to pray them behind Maqam Ibrahim. Yeah? Maqam Ibrahim is the footprint of Sayyidina Ibrahim ala nabina wa alayhi salatu wasalam. You'll pray behind there. If you don't get a chance because it's too full, all the way to the end of the masjid, then anywhere in the masjid will suffice. Yes? But as long as you pray them, as long as you pray these 2 rakats. Once you prayed them, like I said, don't rush. There's no rush to get to Safa Marwa. Okay? What we do normally is we go towards Zamzam water. Yes, you're just doing a tawaf. Need some water now, don't you? Drink some water. And the Prophet ﷺ used to drink water to a point, the Prophet says, drink the water till your ribs are about to burst. That's how much Zamzam water you should drink. It's actually recommended, do wuzu with the water. If you can have a bath with the water, have a bath with the water. But don't do that in the haram though. Okay? But so you can just splash it on yourself. Yeah? Drink the water as much as you can. Then go do a few ziyarat. Relax a bit if you can get into the ziyarat, depending on what time you are there. If you can get to Hajr Aswad, get to Hajr Aswad. You can come to the door of the Kaaba. Yes, and you can make dua at the door of the Kaaba. We call it the ataba, the step. Yes, ataba is like window sill or the sills of doors that you have. Yes, basically you just about reach it, I think. The greyish marble piece, isn't it? Yes, just underneath the door. You can touch that. Between the Hajr Aswad and the door, which is this part here. Yes, this is called the multazam. Okay. The Prophet ﷺ would more or less signify as though he's hugging this place. Yes, multazam means something that you hold on to. Yes, the Prophet used to stretch out his hands and get his cheek and place his hands, his chest onto the whole area of this between the Hajr Aswad and the door. And it was as though he would hug it and place his cheek onto the wall and then make dua here. Okay. You might have seen it on TV. Don't think those people are crazy. They are doing a sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Then if you can, come into the Hatim. Read 2 rakats there. Read 2 rakats there. When you read 2 rakats there, it's as though you have prayed inside the Kaaba. So you can pray in there as well. Another sunnah is that anywhere, I would say most likely around here, this area will be busy, this area will be busy, this area will be more or less empty. Okay? Busy all the way through. Just many people won't. The reason I say that is many people, in terms of tawaf, it will be definitely busy. But in terms of holding onto the ghilaf of the Kaaba, many people don't do it. Okay, but this is where you can hold onto the ghilaf of the Kaaba. The Prophet used to hold onto the ghilaf of the Kaaba. That's a sunnah. This place, I'm not sure if it's sunnah. I'm just telling you because most likely people might not be holding onto the ghilaf there. But it is sunnah to hold onto the ghilaf of the Kaaba. Okay, holding onto it does not mean swinging on it. Okay, it does not mean you become Tarzan or something. You start, moving on. This is all wrong. Holding onto it just means hold onto it and make dua. That's it. Okay. Make your dua. Then, and if there's other ziyarat, there are certain pillars inside the haram which you can maybe see. If you've got your tour guide and he wants to take you around, if he's free that is, you can maybe show you those certain pillars, the pillar of Mi'raj with the Prophet or someone from Mi'raj, and various other pillars that are there. They're actually signposted in the Ottoman, from the Ottomans' times. If you can read the calligraphy, then you'll have a good time. Okay, but they're very, very easy to find. Medina Sharif is a lot easier than Makkah Sharif.
These sunnati ibadat that you're saying, after you've completed your Umrah or after you've done your Tawaf?
You can do them afterwards, but the reason I'm telling them here is because it just helps people calm a bit, yes, rather than rush everything, yes, and then they keep the awe of the place. Okay. That's the only reason we're doing it. But if you want to go straight after doing your Tawaf and your 2 rakats straight towards Safa Marwa, then you can. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay.
I think the reason why they mention is because a lot of people go out with large groups.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult.
Very difficult to do that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. The other thing I think if forgot to mention is the kissing of the Hajr Aswad. It is done 8 times, 7 times.
Yes, sorry, the last time. So when you do finish, sorry, yeah, I did say in the starting that every time you pass it, every time you reach the Hajr Aswad, you will kiss it, including the last time. Yes. So you do 7 rounds, so you will do it 7 times, but when you finish at this point as well, you will kiss the Hajr Aswad again or do the ishara towards it. So once you've done all of these things, again, you go with your group though. So whoever you're going with, you will follow there. You don't have to do these sunnahs, you can do them afterwards when maybe you're relaxing by yourself and you want to go for a tour of the Haram. But if you're going straight to Safa Marwa, go straight to Safa Marwa. Easy way to find Safa Marwa again is those green lights. Wherever Hajr Aswad is, Safa Marwa is directly over to this side of it. Okay. You will go into Safa Marwa, climb towards Safa. Okay. When you get onto Safa, you will face towards the Kaaba, Hajr Aswad to be precise. Face towards Hajr Aswad, and again you can just do istilam. Is a sunnah. So you will say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, kiss the back of your hand, and there you will start your Safa and Marwa, which is called your Sa'i. What is it called? Sa'i. If this is Safa, this is Marwa. I'm not sure how many lanes there are anymore, but we'll just keep 2 lanes. Okay. This is Safa. This is Marwa. Now once you're on Safa, okay, you're going to come down this way towards Marwa. Okay. Somewhere in between these, we'll just make 2 points. Are the green lights still there? Yeah? And that's green lights. Yes? Between this area, there are green lights. This is for the men. Okay. So when you come down from Safa towards this way, you will walk up to these green lights. For men this is. Yes, women throughout the whole process will just walk. As for men, when they come into the green light area, then what will happen here is that you will have to sprint, and this has to be a sprint. Okay, it has to be a sprint. This area we call it the green mile in Arabic. Milain ahdarain. Okay, more or less the green mile. So every time going down from Safa towards Marwa, every time men come in between these 2 areas, okay, this green area rather, they will have to make a sprint to the end of the green light. Okay, that is a sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. The mother of Sayyidina Ismail, she ran between these places. Yes, so while she was climbing up the mountain, she slowed down, she walked up the mountain and down the mountain slowly. When she came into the middle of the valley, she ran. Okay, so this is to signify that we're following her method and her sunnah that she performed. So you will go down. Males, when they get in between the green mile, they will sprint. If you're with sisters, there's nothing wrong with waiting at the end. Okay, you can wait for them to catch up to you. Okay, but if you want to be a lone wolf and carry on, you can as well. Okay, when you get to Marwa, this is 1 round. When you get to Marwa, this is 1 round. Okay, so when you're going from Safa towards Marwa is, don't do what people do. Okay, they go all around, they go from Safa to Marwa to Safa, and then says 1 round. Okay, you're going to be there for a long time. Okay, it looks simple like this. It's quite big though, isn't it? It's really long, and just doing these 7 rounds can take a bit of time as well. And if you're doing all of it, it will take you obviously a long time. So here's when you go from Safa to Marwa, it is 1 round. On Marwa, you can't read the dua, third kalma, you can read again. You can make dua. Okay, to face towards Hajr Aswad, do the Islam of Hajr Aswad if you want, you can do that. And then you come down Marwa and go back up towards Safa. But again, for men, when they get in between the green lights again, towards Safa this time, they will have to sprint between the green lights. Okay, and then you climb up to Safa. Once you're on Safa, that is round number 2. Then 3, 4, 5, 6, back onto Marwa, which is 7th round. So 7th round finishes at Marwa. If you finish on Safa, you've done something wrong. Okay, remember that. So we always finish at Marwa. In terms of reading things in between this sa'i, you can again read whatever you like. Okay, there are some dua books out there for Hajj specifically. You can maybe look into them, memorize some things as well. I would say try to memorize as much as you can of the du'as, because that will be a lot better than carrying the book itself. But again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of everything. He created every language as well. You don't exactly have to do the du'as in Arabic. You can do the du'a in any language you prefer. Okay. So once you've finished, you can read 2 nafil at the end of these. You can read 2 nafil at the end of these. I'm not sure how it's like now, but when I went, there used to be a whole load of people, but used to block the whole area off. But do find a safe place to read 2 nafil. Some scholars said just as Thanksgiving. Yes, you can do this. They're not necessary for you to read. If you don't want to read them, you don't have to as well. Okay. Now, after this, because we're describing Hajj Tamattu. What are we describing? Hajj Tamattu. You will clip your, or shave your head off, or clip your hair, whichever you want to do. Okay. The requirement is to cut at least a quarter of your head, the hair of your head. Okay. If you're shaving it, then at least a quarter needs to be shaven. And if you're clipping your hair, then at least the area of hair that covers a quarter of your head needs to be clipped at least a fingertip. Yeah? And this is for sisters as well. Generally what you just do is get your hair together, all your hair, and just clip a finger from every hair about a finger tip. And that's it. That will take you out of the state of Ihram. Yes? And if you want to shave your head, then you can. One other thing is, if you've got a bald head, what do you do? Okay. In this case, just get the usra and just pass it over. Okay. Just to signify that you have come out of the state of Ihram. This is your Umrah. This is your Umrah. Now you will reside in Makkah till the days of Hajj. So how many ever days you're there for, 5 days, 10 days, whatever it is. You will reside. You wait for the 8th of Zil Hijjah. 8th of Zil Hijjah you will wait for. This is not the day of Hajj, as in so to speak, yes, but it's just a day of preparation for Hajj, really, yes, where you actually go towards towards Mina. So on the 8th of Zil Hijjah, first thing that we'll do is read Fajr. Okay, so we read Fajr, and we will go sometime afterwards, depending on when your tour guide is going to take you towards Mina. So you can maybe plan it according to your tour leader, your tour guide. Yes. If you're going out straight after Fajr, okay, then you need to do this. If you're going Azhar time, if you're going Asr time, whenever you're going, basically, right? What you're going to do is you're going to put your Ihram on. Yes. Ihram can be put on from your hotel if you want. Okay.
So after Fajr or before?
After Fajr. After Fajr.
Yeah, a lot of groups tend to actually leave the night before just to save
Yes.
that rush in the morning. So they leave like after Isha the night before, so to save all that. Because obviously everything just comes to a standstill in the morning because everybody's leaving after Fajr.
Yeah.
So you to see that, maybe 9 times out of 10, a lot of the groups will actually leave the night before, maybe after Isha.
So whichever it is, whichever day you're going on, you put on your Ihram first. Once you put your Ihram on, one of the things, even if you leave first, before the 8th of Zil Hijjah, let's say you left on the 7th of Zil Hijjah, you don't have to go in the state of Ihram. It's not a requirement for you to go to Mina in the state of Ihram on this day even. Okay? But if you do go to Mina, you can go without Ihram, but you'll have to plan in such a way that you come into the Haram, because Mina slightly falls out of the Haram, doesn't it? You'll come into the Haram, okay? Is it near Aziziyah? Go towards Aziziyah sides, and then you will come into the Haram. So anywhere there, if your hotel's near Aziziyah, you're lucky. It's closer to Mina. You get in, and you can put Ihram on and come back. Okay, but generally is better if you just put on your ihram, come into the state of ihram, and then go towards Mina. Then you don't have to worry about anything. So after Fajr, according to tour guide, whenever your tour guide is taking you, put on your ihram from wherever in the haram. Yes, that includes your hotel. Your hotels will most likely fall under the haram. Put on your ihram. When we say put on your ihram, come into the state of ihram. Okay. The state of ihram, this time you make the intention that you are doing Hajj. Yes, oh Allah, I intend to do Hajj, accept it from me and make it easy for me. You are in the state of ihram, say talbiyah, you're fully in the state of ihram. Now you can, in Hajj Tamattu, we don't do a Tawaf Qudum. Yes, it's not sunnah to do Tawaf Qudum, we go straight towards Mina. Yes? So on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, second thing you're going to do is Mina. Go straight towards Mina. While you're in Mina, you will have to find your tent. Yes, your tour guides will be the only one that can find it. So stick close to your tour guide. Don't try to go for a walkabout because I heard it's very confusing. They all look alike, don't they? But they do have a specific pattern, like a number pattern.
They're all numbered.
Yeah, they're all numbered. Yeah. So keep an eye, look at the signs. You'll find your way, inshallah. Now, once you're in Mina, there's nothing to do on this day. Yes, other than contemplate, rectify your sort of intentions, what you're here for. Yes, is it for people to call you Haji Sahib? When you give £10 to the mosque, and then they can say Haji so and so. Okay, is it for these type of things, or is it for something greater than that, which is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Okay, so rectify your intentions, go through the plan again as what the method of Hajj is and what your state of mind should be, how your spirit is going to grow. Yes, so rectify all of these things on this day. Yes.
You also mentioned the sandals because we get a lot of people wearing long types.
Oh, sorry, yeah, we missed them.
Especially
With the sandals, is that the top bone for males? This is the top bone of your foot. Okay, I'm not sure what they call it in English, but this bone here. Okay, right on top of your foot, in the middle of your foot. This needs to remain uncovered. Okay, and this is the Hanfi opinion, and this is what the fatwa is on. This needs to be uncovered. So if you wear normal sandals that you wear, the flip-flop ones, they are okay. You come by those strap ones, the toes can have a strap over them, just the upper strap, if they have two straps, just open the upper strap, okay, and try to tie it behind your foot instead, okay, behind your heel, so that this part from the top of your foot to your shin remains open, okay. So as long as this top bone remains open, it will not violate your state of ihram. Okay.
probably better if they stick to the
Stick flip-flops, yes.
Because especially in Mina, when you go into the toilets and
yes,
it's wuzu and everything's going to get wet.
Yes. So flip-flops are probably the best in that
Well,
regard.
somebody actually who was not able to come today showed me his sandals yesterday. This is what he's done. He's been advised that this is okay, and I said I will clarify this.
No, you know that top strap, the top one, you can just tie maybe behind him or just leave it open.
He's taken one off there.
Has he taken one off?
He's taken one off at the back, so there's nothing at the back.
There's one right in the middle.
And there's an opening there. There is one in the middle, but there's
Yeah.
an opening between the first.
No,
one and
the opening one will have the middle one will need to be opened as
the
well.
second. Have to be
Yeah.
opened as well.
Yeah.
Right.
It's better if you actually get the waterproof sandals.
Yeah.
And you can buy some really good sandals, especially some of them have got the cushiony heels, because a lot of people have problems walking. And because during Hajj you'll be walking quite a lot. So it's nice to actually get the Crocs ones are usually the best ones. And you can find that they have like a cushion in the heel, so you could keep them on and walk long distances, and you won't even feel the pain on the straight. Plus they're also waterproof as well. So when you're doing wuzu, as soon as you come out, after wuzu, they'll dry up straight away with the heat. So they're the best ones actually, the ones to wear, the flip-flop ones.
The flip-flop ones.
It's like the scissor sandal, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Like the scissor sandal. So they're completely plain from the back and the front, but they only got that strap of the.
I've
just
seen
goes
some
through
with a
your-
bit of stitching on as well, with a little bit of a pattern on the top. Is that permissible?
No, on sandals is fine. On shoes is
Sandals
fine.
is okay as long as it's a scissor sandal.
That's just regarding this clothes. Okay, the stitching on the sandals is fine. Yeah. Where were we?
8th of
Mina. So in Mina you just contemplate. That's it. Yes. Now that night you on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. Okay. The 9th. On the 9th, you pray Fajr in your tent. And then you will, again, depending on your tour guide, whenever he decides you to take you, you will go towards Arafat. This is what we call the day of Hajj. Okay. Arafat. Okay. You will now move towards Arafat. So when you go towards Arafat, the time you're going to be there between most likely Zohar and Maghrib. Zohar and Maghrib. If you read with the Imam over there, the Imam will combine his prayers. The Imam will combine his prayers. If you read with the Imam over there, the actual Imam, yes, not your own Imam, the Imam of Hajj. Okay, if you read with him, then you will combine Zohar and Asr in Zohar's time. Okay, there'll be Azan and Iqamat, and what will happen then? The first prayer and the second prayer will be then led. But most likely, I don't think they'll catch that, will they? Yeah?
Depending on
where they are, yes. Most likely, you won't really catch it because of the rush. You won't get to the masjid, will you?
If you're far away, you can barely hear the khutbah.
Yeah. So then in this case, the Imam also does khutbah here as well, which is a sunnah. But you won't hear it. Now what will happen here is if you don't get the Imam, you will read Zohar and Asr in their respective times. Yes? So you're not combining the prayers then. You're reading Zohar and Asr in their respective times. So normal time, Zohar in its own time and Asr in its own time. So both of them in their own time. I would say once you've done Zohar and Asr, then you will do your wukuf. Okay? Do your wukuf. This is the first fard of Hajj. This is the first. There's only 2 fards of Hajj. That's how easy Hajj is. Okay? This is the first fard of Hajj, which is your wukuf of Arafah. Okay? Wukuf. You're going to do your wukuf and you carry on more or less all the way till Maghrib, or just before Maghrib. What is the wukuf? Wukuf is simple. You'll see a little mountain, a little hill, Jabal Rahmat. Yes? Jabal Rahmat is actually not a sunnah to climb all the way to the top. So don't tie yourself up, just go right to the top where the pillar is. Yes, you don't need to do that. The Prophet used to maybe climb just a few steps up the mountain and then face towards Qibla. That's it. That's the sunnah. So climb up a bit, face towards Qibla, and here make dua. That's it. This is your wukuf. Stand up, face Qibla, and make dua. This is a time where you should not hold back. Yes, if you can cry, then cry, because tears in Arafat, on the day of Arafah, in Hajj, are a sign of acceptance. Yes, so if you can cry, then cry. Seek forgiveness for yourself, people around you. Basically, do as much as you can, and don't hold back. Yes, don't be lazy here. Yes. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is here. You are the best of people. Yes, on the whole entire world on that day. Yes? The specific mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is upon you. This maqam of Arafat, represents only you and your Lord. The rest of creation is absent. Okay? The rest of creation is absent. You might see a lot of people, the truth is, they're all absent. Yes? You should not be worried about what the next person is doing. Here is only you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We call this the maqam of fana in tasawwuf. Yes? Where it's only you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You annihilated yourself from everything else. Nobody else should matter. It's only you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is why you do not hold back. Do not hold back. If you cry, you cry. Yes? Do whatever du'as come onto your tongue, make the du'as. Yes? Make the dua of becoming righteous. Make the dua for the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. Make the dua for the people that you know in the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. Yes? So basically whatever comes to you, make dua. Yes? Make yourself righteous, make yourself from the awliya ikram, make your offspring from the scholars, unite the ummah of the Prophet, have mercy upon the ummah of the Prophet, and all these du'as that you can, inshallah ta'ala, make, but you don't hold back. Yes? So this is what this signifies here. So it's a very spiritual maqam as well. A lot of people lose this by concentrating on what other people are doing. In this place, it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. It matters about what you are doing. and what you are doing in terms of action for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You'll do your wuquf here. Once you've done your wuquf, around Maghrib time you will leave, but you will not pray Maghrib. You will not pray Maghrib. You will,
Can I just quickly mention here before we go any further? A lot of the camps now in Arafah are closed.
okay,
So if, say for instance, you're in camp 34 in Mina,
Okay.
you will be in camp 34 in Arafah as well.
okay,
So once you get inside your camp, 99.9% is, once everybody is in,
Yes.
they will seal the gates.
okay,
And because you have a band, you'll have a security tag on your hands now. We'll have a barcode on it which will represent you. So if anybody wants to check who you are, if you get lost or anything like that, they'll know exactly who you are, which mu'allam you're from, and they'll guide you back to your camps. But last year we had a big problem. A lot of people couldn't leave Arafah
Okay.
from the camps to go to the Jabal Rahmah.
okay,
So most of us did was within your camps you will have
Yeah.
like small little mountains that you can climb. So if you can climb them, some of them small mountains, you will actually see, if you can,
Yeah.
the Jabal from there. So a lot
Okay.
of people actually prayed on top of them small mountains.
Yeah, no,
facing
that's fine.
towards-
The whole of Arafat, the camps fall under Arafat, don't
yeah,
they?
yeah, all the camps are actually in.
The whole of Arafat is a place of wuquf. Yes? I've just told you the sunnah. The sunnah is to get close to the mountain, and the extra sunnah is to climb up it slightly. Oh, there's going to be a rush as well. Yes? Everybody's going to try to fulfill this sunnah. But the Prophet made it easy for us by telling us that the whole of Arafat is a place of wuquf. Okay? And then the Prophet mentioned a certain wali where he said that's out. But obviously now it's all bordered around, and it's also got signs posted. So in wherever you're, even if you're in your tents in Arafat, in your places in Arafat, then you can do wuquf from there. The only thing we'll say is face Qibla. Yes, that's the only thing we will say, face Qibla, and you can do wuquf from there. If it's hard for you to get to Jabal Rahmat, okay?
I don't know what it's going to be like this year, but last year for security reasons, I mean there was a lot of hadsat going on. People mentioning that there's a lot of influence coming in from Yemen and security
Okay.
and this and that.
Yeah.
So they were advising, the Muallims were advising the people in the camps to actually stay
Okay.
within their own camps.
Yep. Again, if that's the case, then you can do wuquf Arafah in your camps because you're still in Arafat. So anywhere in Arafat, you can do the wuquf. Once you leave towards Muzdalifah, you will not read Maghrib. Okay? Not in Muzdalifah, not in Arafat, and neither on the way to Muzdalifah. Okay? Again, you'll have to keep an eye on how your tour operator is taking you to Muzdalifah. Okay, I'm not sure if they're walking or coach, whatever it is, and the timings as well, so be aware of these things. Once you reach Muzdalifah, regardless if you read by yourself or with the Imam, yes, whatever happens with the Imam of Hajj or your own Imam, or you're reading individually, you will pray Maghrib and Isha together. Okay, Maghrib and Isha together. Okay, do they have tents there as well, places there? Muzdalifah? No.
It's all open.
It's all open. So wherever your place is, wherever you're going to be residing there, the whole of Muzdalifah, when you enter Muzdalifah, is we're going to do wuquf Arafah later on, but the whole of it is the place of wuquf. Okay, so wherever you are, you can do the wuquf from there. So when you are in Muzdalifah, you will pray Maghrib and Isha. If you did pray Maghrib in Arafat or on the way to Muzdalifah, yes, when you get into Muzdalifah, you have to pray it again. Okay? So keep an eye on that. If you do pray Maghrib in Arafat or on the way to Muzdalifah or outside of Muzdalifah, then when you enter Muzdalifah, you will have to pray Maghrib again. Okay? So in that sense, it's just easy for you to just get to Muzdalifah and pray whenever you get there. So Maghrib and Isha, both of these prayers will be combined in Hajj. Now once you have read your Maghrib and Isha, you can relax maybe. Okay, you got the whole night.
Go find your stones.
Yeah, go find your stones. We're going to come to that. But obviously they got the whole night, haven't they?
Yeah.
So you got the whole night now to relax. This place in terms of the Tasawwuf represents, the specific name for it is called Jam'ul Jama'. You've had fana, you've had the closeness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's now traveling towards the creation, the opposite way. Okay? You've traveled from creation to Him, now He wants you to come from Him to the creation. Yes? So now it's about brotherhood. Yes? Muzdalifah is about brotherhood. So now you have to keep an eye on what others are doing. Yes, make others comfortable. Yes, because there's no tent, there's nothing, you're under the night sky, so you make others comfortable around you. But having said that, this Jamul Jama maqam or in Tasawwuf is a maqam where only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in your heart. So you do everything else for the creation, yes, but you do not forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this. Yes, this is a higher maqam in Tasawwuf, where the dunya never enters your heart, but you're still in the dunya. Okay, you still go about your daily routines, but the dunya cannot affect your heart. This is a place to get rid of all your temptations. Yes, all those things that you had in your heart is to get rid of them, and only Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam reside in your heart. Okay, so whilst you're here, you're spending the night, you will pick up your stones. Okay, on the first day of stoning you need 7 stones. Then the second day of stoning you need 21 stones, and the third day of stoning you will need 21 again. There is a sunnah day, but people don't do it, and that's the 4th day. You need 21 stones for that as well, but you're not going to do that 4th day. Okay, so 10, 11, 12, these are the days you definitely are doing the stonings, and 10, 11, 12, 13th. The 13th people don't do that, they tend to leave on the 12th. Okay, but just in case, how many stones do you need? 7, 21, 21, 21, 70 stones. Okay, 71 did he say? 70 stones altogether. Okay,
few extra just
yeah,
in case
71, 72, 75. Pick up a few in case instead of hitting the devil, you hit somebody's head. Okay, just pick up a few extra stones. Okay, it is mustahab to wash the stones. Okay, but what type of stones do we need to pick up? The stones that we are going to pick up are small pebbles like stones. Yes, something that are fit in between your index finger and your thumb. So something about that size. Okay, not like that. Okay, it's something like this. Okay, small. So something that will fit onto your index finger and your thumb. Is disliked to break stones. So don't break stones. Okay, don't get a big boulder and smash it. Yeah, it's makruh to do that. But if you do that, those stones you won't be able to use them. Okay, so you'll find pebbles, little stones on the floor anyway, and you can just pick them up. Roughly 75 stones. Yes, 75 stones. If you want, pick up 100. Okay, if you've got nothing to do, just pick up 100, and you can wash them and then keep them for the days that are coming. You're going to ask, what shall I keep them in? You can keep a little sack, or the money belt that you have. You can maybe keep
what people carry is usually like the money bags where you put coins in.
Yes.
Some people have them.
Yes.
Some people empty the water bottles, that they're plastic ones. They wash them and then they drain the water out and leave the stones in the bottle.
Yeah. So wherever you want to carry them in, you can carry them in as well, inshallah. You spend the night here. So we got wuku. Where have we gone? Arafat, Muzdalifah. You'll the stones, okay? Now, in this when Fajr time enters, this is the best time to read your Fajr. Okay? So when Fajr enters on this night, you read Fajr in its beginning time. Okay? It'll be completely dark. Normally when you're in Bradford, we read Fajr when it gets nice and bright outside. That's the sunnah when you're here. But in Hajj, it's completely dark. That's for men, by the way, in Bradford. For sisters, it's actually more rewardable to read it in the beginning time. Okay, in the summer it's really easy for them. They get to read it at 2 o'clock, which is really easy. But for men, they have in your own residence, it's making it nice and bright outside. I would say about 45 minutes before sun rises. Yes, enough time for you to read at least 40 verses. Okay, so you read Fajr in the dark here though. Once you read Fajr, you will now do wukuf of Muzdalifah. Okay, so wherever you are in Muzdalifah, face Qibla and do your wukuf. Wukuf again is just your standing. This is wajib, by the way. So you do your wukuf. So here now you will do your wukuf. Face towards the Qibla and start making dua again. This is the wukuf of Muzdalifah. Now what will happen now is is once you've done your wukuf, again, it depends on your tour guide and your tour operator as to when you are leaving Muzdalifah. For Muzdalifah, you're going back towards Mina. What day are we on? 10th, okay? For everybody else in the world is Eid, not for you, okay? I'm going to rub this off. Anybody need to note this down now? Yeah? So now we're at the 10th of Zil Hijjah. On the 10th of Zil Hijjah, it's a very important day. You go back towards Mina, travel back towards Mina. Again, like I said, keep an eye on your tour operator as to when you are going back to Mina. If you're fit and healthy, you should do all of the walking. Yes, you can use your phones these as well. I'm sure they've got the GPS system there as well, where you can find your way as well. I've seen a lot of people use it. Once you get to Mina, we are gonna then go towards the Jamarat. Okay.
Depending on which
Okay,
you operate.
yeah.
A lot of people leave from Muzdalifah and head straight towards
Yes.
Jamarat. They don't go back towards
Okay.
Mina.
So again, keep an eye on your tour operators. They might not go towards Mina. They might just go straight towards the Jamarat. Balki I've seen one tour group. Balki he asked me about a month ago that he decided to go do Tawaf Ziyarat first, and then come this way. But anyway, we'll just tell you. What's that?
Before Jamarat.
Before Jamarat, yeah. Anyway, we'll tell you the Sunnah method anyway. You will go towards the Jamarat. There's 3 Jamarats. Okay? We'll do it the easy way. Small shaitan, medium shaitan, and big shaitan. Okay? We just call them Jamaras in Arabic, except the last one. This last one is called Jamra al-Aqaba. Jamra al-Aqaba. What we know as the big shaitan. Okay? You will, on this day, when you get to Mina, I'll just write just in case you do go there, but it's up to your tour operator. Then you go to Jamra al-Aqaba. Aqaba. That's the furthest one, isn't it? Yes? So you'll surpass or is it a direct word? You have to go past the first 2.
It's all guided.
It's all guided, yeah. So we'll most likely go past the first 2 and then get to the third one, wouldn't you? So you'll go straight to the end. This is the closest one to the Qibla. And you will stone this 3 times. But remember one thing, every time we're moving about, yes, we're reading Talbiyah. Yes, so like when we were going towards Arafat, we read Talbiyah. While we are in Arafat, we don't read the Talbiyah, because then we're doing dua, aren't we? 7 times, sorry. 7 times.
In terms of leaving Muzdalifah, can you go straight after Fajr, or can you have to wait till sunrise?
You have to wait till sunrise, because the wukuf time is till Fajr, till the sunrise.
So you have to wait till
Yeah. Yeah. So you wait till sunrise, then you can leave. Okay. So you stone Jamra al-Aqaba 7 times. 7 times. I'll tell you the stoning method here. The stoning method is, so you read Talbiyah, as soon as you get to Jamra al-Aqaba, you cut off your Talbiyah. Yes? You can say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. And then one sunnah method that has reached us is that you take the stone into your thumb and your index finger and you throw it like this. You don't need to do this, okay? You just this, okay? Like a flick off, okay? You don't need to swing your arm with it. One other sunnah method which is hard, okay, is to somehow balance it on your thumb, yes, and flick it. Yeah, that's a bit hard. This one's easier. Okay, you can keep it like that and throw it. You throw the stone, and if it falls anywhere in what they call them, the vicinity of the Jamara, you know those little funnels, yes, the funnels that go down, right? Your stoning, or that one piece of stone that you've thrown, has been fulfilled. Okay, if any stones slip out your hand while you're throwing and it didn't go into the intended direction, it just fell in front of you. If you know where it is, you can pick it up and reuse it. If you've thrown it and you don't know where it's gone, then you use your extra ones in that case. Okay, or if you've thrown it and it's fell away from the funnels, then just obviously you won't be able to get to it. Then just use another stone, extra stones that you have. You will stone 7 times. The reason we stone in this manner is because it's a sign of the weakness of the shaitan. Okay? This actually represents how the shaitan has power over you. Yes? If you are a person that the shaitan does not have power over you, then this is sufficient for you to get rid of the shaitan. Yes? If you're a person who's shackled with the shaitan, then he throws his slippers. Okay? You have to think about these things. Spiritually, psychologically, these things tell a lot about you. Yes? People who are swinging, it tells you a lot that the shackles of shaitan are really strong upon you. In this case, all the shaitan is for us is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that the shackles of the shaitan are weak. Yes? Inna kayda shaitani lakana da'ifa. That the shackles of the shaitan are very weak. So in that case, it should just be an insult to him that you throw it in this manner that he just then has to move on. You got a question?
Yeah, just going back to throwing the stone. I guess if you drop it, you should pick it up.
If you know where it is, you can pick it up. Yeah. Yeah, you can pick it. If you know where it is, but it's close to you.
Take your extra ones just in case you lose one or you simply think. But the pillars are so big now, they made big stone pillars you can't miss.
This is like when you've thrown it, but it just landed in front of you. Yes, in your vicinity basically. But those that are gone past you, then those you won't pick up again. Yes, those are just next to you. They fall on the floor. You can pick them up. Those are you thrown yourself though, not other people's. Okay, your own stone. Yeah. So like you've thrown it, but you couldn't get the intended power in it, and it just fallen out of your hand and it's gone onto the floor. That one you can pick. That stone is as though you never even used it. Yes. You understand that?
Coordination with regards to security is done in such a way that from the distance, when you approach the Jamarat itself, from there, from miles and miles away, the security is so tight, and everybody within the security services are talking to each other. So say for instance they let 5,000 people go through, they'll make sure they hold 5,000 people back. So there's always a space in between. So as you're approaching Jamarat, it's very easy and flexible for you to actually do the stoning.
Sure. So you start.
In the case of just you have no more stones left.
Take somebody else's. You can ask someone to give if they got extra stones, you can take their stones. Yeah. They don't have to be personally your stones, okay? But obviously you have to have permission to use somebody else's stones as well, okay? You cannot pick the ones that are on the floor there, okay? You cannot pick the ones that are on the floor there. I don't think will they be on the floor there?
They will.
Yeah, they will be.
They get swept up and
They get
get
swept up,
taken
yeah.
back to Muzdalifah. So
But
that's why it's always better to actually get
extra ones. Okay,
So say for instance you might have to give them to somebody else.
go for it.
Also, I heard if you go past, you can not come back.
If you haven't done the stoning, you can come back. If you have not done the
You can't walk backwards, you have to go around or something.
no, it's a
All
one.
a one-way
It's a one-way system, but if in terms of if you haven't done the stoning, you can come back for that.
You can't miss stoning.
You can, yeah.
You're all heading
And
towards.
it's not as tight as you.
No.
assume it is.
Yeah.
Everybody's heading
Somebody
towards.
lost their stones and they went past looking for stones. And they
Where
went
would you find them stones?
I don't know, let's see, we're looking for the person, and you don't past the Jamarat.
No, you can come.
I heard you're not allowed to walk back down.
Say for instance you're with a group and everybody's there together with you and you haven't got your stones, you can always ask somebody else for you to use the stones. There's no way you can actually go past, because once you get to the end, there's no way you can either go back and then back down the lifts and out. Do you understand? Have you been before?
I have, I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
They don't, the security won't let you come back down.
I don't
It
understand.
says
Where would you want?
investigate the stones and stones.
But where would you want?
What he's saying is that if for example, your friend is at the second Jamarat and you're at the first Jamarat, but you run out of stones, and then you just gone to your friend to get stones off him, can you walk back to the first one?
On the third day.
Yeah.
Because on the first one you go right to the end.
Yeah.
Because that's the first one. And the second day and the third.
In terms of the fiqh aspect, you can go back. If the security does not let you go back, that's a different issue. That's a different issue. But in terms of the fiqh aspect, the Islamic method, you can come back. There's nothing wrong with that. But in terms of the security, if they're not letting you come back, then you maybe have to go all the way around or something. I'm not sure. But regardless, on this first day, the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, you will do the Jamar al-Aqaba. Jamar al-Aqaba is actually a very important place. Islamically. Okay, the Bay'atul Aqaba took place here as well. You know, when the Prophet ﷺ did Hajj, not the Farzi Hajj happened in from Medina Sharif. Okay, this was pre-Hajj Hajj, if you like. The Prophet ﷺ was next to Jamarat al-Aqaba. The first year, people from Medina came and they took bay'ah on the hands of the Prophet, they accepted Islam. The next year, they came back to Hajj again and they brought double the number of people. Yes, they all came from Medina Sharif and they accepted Islam on the hands of the Prophet ﷺ, and they invited the Prophet to Medina Sharif at that time. Okay, so it's a very historical maqam as well, where it was done, and that really became one of the strengths of Islam, that people in Medina Sharif at that time had accepted Islam already. So it's a very important maqam. On this one, as soon as you've done the 7 stones, you just walk off. You don't do dua. Okay, you just walk straight off and you get out. You go back towards Mina. So once you finish Jamarat al-Aqaba, back towards Mina. In terms of now, what you need to do is your sacrifice. Okay.
A lot of the times, the groups that are going out towards Azizia or Shisha go back to their apartments.
Okay.
And the rest of them usually tend to walk back from Jamarat back to Makkah Sharif.
Okay. So in this regard, you can really do whatever you like now. That's what the tour operator is saying. Is either go to Mina, or go towards your apartment, or go towards Makkah. But the main thing here is, what we're doing is, because you're waiting for your sacrifice. Remember, we're doing Hajj Tamattu, this sacrifice is wajib. This sacrifice is wajib. You have to give this sacrifice. So you'll have to wait for your sacrifice. Sacrifice, I think I spelled it wrong. You wait for your sacrifice, I think it's a phone call. Yes, or your tour operators will tell you when your sacrifice is done. You'll have to wait for that. Once that is done, then you've got your shaving of the head. Okay, so we call it halq. Yeah, cut hair. So you cut your hair now. Sisters will clip their hair like we said for Umrah. Brothers will shave their head or shorten their hair like we said. And if a person has no hair, then in that case, just to pass a razor blade over the head. Once that's done, now you come to the second farz of Hajj. This can be done on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, this can be done on the 11th of Dhul Hijjah, and you can do it on the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. These are the 3 days which you can do it in. Yes, but again, your tour operator will be the best person to stay with, just to make sure that it's done in time. Tawaf Ziyarat, yes. The Tawaf Ziyarat can be done from the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, 11th of Dhul Hijjah, and the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. Okay. Sunnah method is, as soon as you've done it, do it on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. Okay, because the next 2 days you're going to be doing your stoning, aren't you?
You can come out of your state of Ihram.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. In this one, once you cut your hair, you are out of the state of Ihram. Okay. You're back into normal clothes. You're out of the state of Ihram, except for one thing. Husband and wife are not halal upon each other yet. Okay. Husband and wife are not permissible for each other. Okay. You will only come out of that prohibition once you have done Tawaf al-Ziyarah, the Farzi Tawaf of Hajj. Okay. So once you cut your hair, now you're going to go towards Makkah, and you will do Tawaf al-Ziyarah. So Tawaf Ziyarah. Tawaf Ziyarah is the Farz Tawaf. This is the second Farz of Hajj and the final Farz of Hajj. There's no other Farz after this. So only 2 Farz. Wukuf Arafah and Tawaf Ziyarah. Okay. Wukuf Muzdalifah is wajib. Okay. And the sacrifice is wajib. The sacrifice is wajib. Tawaf Ziyarah you do. In this Tawaf, what will happen is you'll do the Tawaf in normal clothes. So there's no istiba in these. You know what we said, you have to keep the right shoulder naked. You will not do that in this. If you are doing sa'i with this Tawaf, you will have to do Ramal in the first 3 rounds. In the first 3 rounds, you will do Ramal. And then once you've done this, like we mentioned for Umrah, do the Tawaf in the same method, and then you will go towards Safa Marwa. And you do Safa Marwa, is same thing for the sisters, exactly how you had done it for Umrah. Okay, But here, most likely you're going to do the loophole. That on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah they do a Nafli Tawaf.
Well, I tend to tell people that we do.
You do this
on the 10th.
on the 10th, okay. So you have a loophole here as well if you want to make it easier for yourself, or sometimes it's not easier as well. Just sheer amount of people that sometimes be there. There's a loophole here that we have as well. Yes, that is, remember on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah we put our Ihram on, didn't we? Yes, from the Haram. If you go towards the Baytullah, Masjid al-Haram, you can do a Nafli Tawaf. But after this Nafli Tawaf, intend to do Sa'i of Tawaf Ziyarat. It's just a loophole. It's kind of tricky, but it's a loophole. You intend to do Tawaf of Tawaf Ziyarat, but when do you do the Tawaf? The Sa'i of Tawaf Ziyarat. You intend to do the Sa'i of Tawaf Ziyarat, but which day? On the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. But you do a Nafli Tawaf, you do Istiba in that, you do Ramal in that, and then you go, read your 2 rakats and go towards Safa Marwa. That Safa Marwa that you're doing, that the Sa'i you're doing there is for this Tawaf here. Yes? What will happen, what that means is that when you come back on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, yes, you only enter the Masjid just to do Tawaf. You don't have to go to Safa Marwa. Okay? That's just a loophole that we have in the Hanfi fiqh.
The sa'i for the Tawaf Ziyarat, is that wajib or sunnah?
It's a wajib. Yes, it's wajib to do.
And would you need to do that in Ihram, that sa'i?
If you do on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, no, you have to do it in Ihram. If you do on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, you will be in Ihram. If you do it before that, it won't count.
So if you're going on the 7th to Mina,
Yes.
night of the 7th, should we not do the sa'i then?
You can still do the sa'i with Ihram though. You have to put the Ihram of Hajj on first, come into the state of Ihram of Hajj, and then do the sa'i. So the condition really is that the sa'i needs to be done in the months of Hajj and in the state of Ihram for Hajj.
So if you did the loophole without
Yeah, if you did the loophole, okay. But if you're going with our tour operator here, then most likely you're doing it on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah altogether. Okay, it's so, when we say the loophole, and sometimes we do say it's a lot easier for you to do, but the reality in this day and age is that everybody might be doing it.
It's actually
Yeah.
more harder to do.
Yes.
The experience, like.
Okay, so because everybody's doing, and plus look, you're going to have the rush of Umrah. Yes, people will still be doing Umrah. Yes, people coming new, doing Hajj Tamattu, Hajj Ikram, so they're still doing Umrah, so they're still going towards Safa Marwa, and then you're getting people doing the loophole as well.
And then you got your
Okay.
groups and trying
And
to
then
arrange to get
yes.
you out to Mina
Get
as
it,
well.
yeah.
So
So it's best to always stick with your tour guide as well. So sometimes the loophole is not the best way to go about it as well, but it's there just in case.
What if you actually did the loophole method, and then when you came back and you still did another one, would that count as nothing?
The second one just doesn't count as anything. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. The second one, it's sa'i. Sa'i is not an independent worship. It's a dependent worship. So you can't exactly just go and do sa'i by itself, if you understand what I mean. It has to be done with the tawaf. Okay?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
When you come back, you do the tawaf.
Yes.
And if you don't do the loophole, you'd be doing the sa'i.
Yes.
after the tawaf. What I was saying was, if you've done the tawaf and the sa'i before you went, if it was possible, and then you came back and did it for the extra. If it's not worth it,
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you a tour operator to keep an eye on you. See if you do it.
maybe they were so tired that day. I don't
Yeah,
think-
you have to do it because you're gonna be awake more or less the most part of the
You'll be
night.
up nearly 24, 36 hours by the time you get back to
So it's
Post-Tawaf.
very, very difficult. I mean, if you do it, we'll tell them to record you. So once you've done Tawaf Ziyarah, that's your last farz of Hajj done. Okay. Once you've done Tawaf Ziyarah as well, remember when you cut your hair, you came out of the prohibitions of Ihram, except for the prohibition of husband and wife being halal for each other. Tawaf Ziyarat removes that prohibition. Okay. If you miss Tawaf Ziyarat and you come back to Bradford, tough luck, you have to go back. There's no other way about it. Yeah? You have to go back to Makkah, do the Tawaf Ziyarat, pay your penalty, and that's when a husband and wife will be halal for each other.
So is there no opportunities for like dam or anything? Say if a woman's menstruating or anything and they can't do much.
The actual method is that she waits.
Right.
Okay, she will wait whenever she becomes pure. If she's missed the days, she will go into her masjid, do a tawaf. This is outside of the days when she's pure. She will do the tawaf, but she has to give a small sacrifice, that's a dam. If the tour operator is going to leave for Medina, or they have to leave to get back to the UK, then in that case some ulama do allow that in her state of menses she enters the masjid, she does tawaf ziyarat, okay, does the sa'i, but then she pays the bigger penalty, which is a camel. Okay, she has to pay that though. Okay.
So if a woman's on her menses,
Yes.
and she's returned back to the UK
Without doing this,
without doing
she has to come back. There's no other way about it.
Tawaf ziyarah is part of your Hajj.
Yes.
You have to complete it.
I've read an opinion that says that if it goes past that period, then
No, the days, the days are wajib. The days are wajib, but the tawaf needs to be performed. Okay?
Is there any advice?
When the Sayyidah Aisha said that she was on her menses to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet said to her that she's going to delay us. I think we say that Aisha might be one of the other wives, أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. However, it's reported in the hadith. One of the wives of the Prophet said to the Prophet ﷺ that she's in menses. It was Sayyidah Aisha. The Prophet then, the statement of the Prophet was, she's going to delay us. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ thought that she's not done tawaf ziyarat. Yes? And then she said to the Prophet, I have done tawaf ziyarat. Yes? Then the Prophet said, then what are we waiting for? Yes? And then the Prophet ﷺ went, but that statement that she's going to delay us tells us that she has to do it. What was your question, sorry?
I was going to say, for the sisters, and in terms of medical advances, they can delay with medication.
Yeah, you have the menses pill. I'm not really sure what the pill's called, but you can use that. It's just to use, but be aware of the side effects of it as well. And don't actually, if you're going to eat the pill itself, don't eat it a day or two before Hajj, okay? Because it takes a bit of time to work. Okay, so if your menses are due, it might just happen that the pill won't work and your menses will be due and they will take place. So if you're going to eat the pill, then eat it about a week before, so that it delays the menses in that sense. Okay, it is there, but keep in touch with your GP or somebody who's a professional to let you know the side effects of it as well. Okay. So once you do your tawaf ziyarah, then you come out of the complete state of ihram. First it was just like the partial state of ihram is taken out. Husband and wife won't halal for each other. Tawaf ziyarat now removes all prohibitions of you. Like I said, if you do miss this, you have to come back. You have to come back. There's no other way about it. Even the sacrifice will not be sufficient for it. Okay, this tawaf has to be done. It's farz upon you, and it keeps you in the state of ihram. Sacrifice will not take you out of the state of ihram. Okay, this is the only thing. Legally, in principle, the sacrifice will not take you out of the state of ihram. So that's why they have to come back and do the tawaf itself. It's the actual tawaf itself that's taking you out of the state of ihram. So once you have done that, remember one thing, you don't want to reside in your hotels. It's sunnah to reside in Mina in the nights. These following nights now, it's sunnah to reside in Mina. So you got the 10th, 11th and the 12th. The 10th stoning is done. Now, once you go back towards Mina, you chill out throughout the night. Just relax. Yes, contemplate of what you've done.
is there a time limit you have to be back in Mina?
Before Fajr. Yes, before Fajr. As long as you spend some part of the night in Mina. Yes, that you didn't completely spend it in Makkah. Yes, the Prophet did come into Makkah for tawaf ziyarat and went back. Yes, and the truth is, the sunnah is the Prophet then stayed in Mina. Even after that, the Prophet didn't come back except to do tawaf al-wida. Yes, the Prophet stayed in Mina and did the rami. Okay, so that's the sunnah. But if you do come towards Mina, just some portion of the night spend it in Mina. Don't spend the whole night elsewhere. Okay.
And what I'm saying, if you're not able to get back, then is there an expiation?
No, it's sunnah. It's just a sunnah. It's just a sunnah. Once you go back to Mina, so you're going to go back to Mina. Okay. Now you're going to spend the night there, read Fajr, then you're in the 11th of Zil Hijjah. 11th of Zil Hijjah, the only thing required on this day is the stoning. After Zawal. Okay? After Zawal. In Jamarat al-Aqaba, the stoning is done between sunrise and noon. Okay, but if you miss that time, you can do it after that as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay,
They've opened it 24 hours.
yeah, you can even do it in the night. It's just disliked in the night. Yeah, it's not recommended in the night. But throughout the day, you can do it all. But the main time for it is between sunrise and noon. Okay, that's for Jamr al-Aqaba. For these stonings, the 11th, 12th, and 13th, these are all going to be the same, by the way. 11th, 12th. You're going to get out on the 12th, aren't you? Okay, 13th doesn't matter. 11 and 12th, you're just going to do stoning. There's nothing else to it. And the stoning is done between noon and sunset. Noon and sunset. If you miss that time, you can do it within after Maghrib as well. It's just dislike to do it in the night. That's all. Okay, but your stoning will take place though. Remember one thing: if you miss a whole stoning, then a penalty will be upon you. Yeah, a sheep. If you miss a whole day stoning, then a sheep will be upon you. Okay, so remember that. Yep, 11th and 12th. Right, so we're going to go through that anyway in a minute. So if you miss, like on the 10th of Zil-Hijjah, you only throw 7 stones, don't you? So if you miss all 7, meaning you miss the whole thing, then a sacrifice will be upon you. If you miss 1 or 2 stones, then you give charity in this. You give a sadaqah, okay, for those stones that you missed. If you can make it up, then do make it up. And there's nothing wrong if you think that I threw 4 stones and I didn't throw the rest. Yes, if you can find your way back around again somehow, yes, you can do that. Yes, you can always repeat your stonings if you like. Okay? But if you completely missed it, then in that case, either sacrifice for all 7 or 1 or 2 missed, then in that case, just a sadaqah will suffice. On the 11th and 12th, you're doing all 3. So you start off with a small one. Okay, like we say, when you change states, you say talbiyah. You get to it, you get to the first Jamarat, you stop your talbiyah. Throw your 7 stones as per normal. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and throw the stone. Once you finish the first stoning, you can stop, make dua, okay, and then move on to the second one. Once you come to the second one, same method again. You throw the stones, throw 7 stones. You can stop straight after it, make dua, and come to the third Jamarat, the third pillar. You stone that 7 times. Now here, you do not stop. You walk off. Okay, you don't make dua here. You just walk straight off past this one. The principle is, if there is a stoning after a stoning, between them you make dua. If there is no stoning after a stoning, then you just walk off. Okay, so in conclusion, after the first one and after the second Jamarat, you make dua. Okay, and then you can walk off. So this is the same method for the 12th of Zil-Hijjah as well. For the 12th of Zil-Hijjah. It's sunnah to leave before Maghrib. Sunnah to leave before Maghrib. That's Mina, by the way. So when you get back to Mina, if you go back to Mina, that is, you get all your luggage, everything you have, yes, and you leave out for Makkah. Okay, you leave for Makkah. But it's sunnah on this will be the 12th. It's sunnah to leave Mina before Maghrib. If it's after Maghrib, okay, it's disliked. It's disliked. But if you reside there, till Fajr time, if Fajr time starts, now it's also wajib upon you to do the stoning of the 13th. But most likely your tour operator will get you out of there. It's a dispensation which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us in the Quran. فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ فِي أَيَّامٍ مَعْدُودَاتٍ فَمَنْ تَأَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ لِمَنِ اتَّقَى. Yes. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَأْلَمُوا أَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْهِ تُحْشَرُونَ. That I mentioned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the number of days, in a few days, that are these days, that is, the 3 days, 10, 11 and 12. For those who want to leave early, then there's no sin upon them. Okay. For those who want to delay it, and there's no sin upon them as well. Meaning if they want to come out on the 12th, finish their Hajj on the 12th, it's done. If they want to stay there, and the sunnah is that you stay there. The Prophet stayed there till the 13th. and he did the stoning of the 13th as well, in the same manner as the 11th and the 12th day. And then he left for Makkah. But most likely everybody tends to leave, most Torah prayers tend to leave on the 12th. So you'll go to Mina, get your luggage, everything, then you go back to Makkah. Meaning when I say Makkah here, you go up to your hotels. Okay?
The people leave with the luggage, the rucksacks.
Okay.
The time they have
Yeah.
the rucksacks.
They have the rucksacks.
They take everything with them.
Okay.
They go towards Stoning, do the Jamarat.
Yes, and then
Either then they shift out towards Azizia or
Okay.
Makkah Sharif.
okay. So most likely your hotel is easier, and then from there you can. After that, however long you reside in Makkah. Yes.
In terms of stoning, is there a recommended time? Is it after
The recommended times for Jamr al-Aqaba, on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, that's from the Fajr till Zawal, just before Zohar, noon. Yeah, from sunrise till noon. Okay, and for the other days, 11th, 12th, okay, that is from Zohar time, so to speak, till sunset. Okay, but if you do miss that time, it's you can do it in the nights as well. It's just disliked though. Yeah, the stoning will take place. There is no penalty for it. It's just disliked.
I heard from somebody that went last year, they give you a timing now. You don't let you go.
Okay.
It depends on your muallim, you see.
Yeah, it depends on your mu'allim.
And whatever time slot they're given,
Okay.
that's the time that
That's
they-
just to
they're
make it
allowed
easy, isn't
yeah,
it?
to
That
make it easy for
so you
everybody.
stay as a group and you won't get lost.
I read somewhere that you mentioned how to do the pelting with the fingers, but to have your right shoulder towards the Jamarat and the left towards Kaaba, is there anything?
That's sunnah. That's sunnah to do, but obviously in the way it's now, I would say wherever you find space. Okay? Wherever.
technically, could you do Jamarat before Maghrib, pray Maghrib, and do Jamarat straight after? So you look at 11th and 12th.
You can do it, but it's makruh.
Better
It's
to be
it's
done
better to do it
the
before.
azan of Maghrib, yeah.
It's better to do it before, but obviously if there's logistics, whatever, you get stuck somewhere, whatever, you can
Brother's got a
still
very
do.
valid point.
Yeah.
Sometimes the muallims are very restricted and they don't allow you out and they just
Yeah.
shut the gates and you can't get out.
You can't get out.
But if you've got a good tour guide with you, you get out before and you just go, you don't listen to them.
So in that sense, always keep in touch with your money. If you've been like the third or fourth or fifth time, then you can do whatever you like. And this is more or less for beginners because you can get lost a bit. If you can get internet there, then I would recommend it. Yeah, so you can just find which way you're going. Okay.
There is an app out there, it's called the iHajj app. You'll be able to download it on Play Store. That's quite ideal for navigation purposes as well. So say for instance you're in Azizia, a lot of times people get lost, especially on the day of Tawaf Ziyarah, because your tour operators don't take responsibility for you on that day, on the 10th of Dhul Hajj. So it's a nice application to have, download it. It sets up a point, starting point, so if you click on it, it tells you this is your location. So wherever you are, if you click back on it, the Google will actually locate you back to the original Azizia location. So it's a nice application to actually download. It's called iHajj. Yeah,
It
it's a
also
track.
tracks you, so if you
Yeah.
have a group of people and you split.
Yeah. So if you can
Okay.
create a group on there, so if you lose anybody and they've actually got the internet there, you can track that person down as well. So it's always wise to actually pick up a SIM whilst you're out there in Hajj.
Do you recommend what type of SIM should you buy?
Mobile is quite good. There's quite a few. There's Zen, there's Mobile.
Do they come with data?
Yeah, they come with the data, yeah. Sometimes you might get the 3 gig, the 5 gig and the 10 gig as well. So 50 quid should be sufficient enough for you to have enough data and enough minutes.
App Store in Arabic or is it all?
iHajj is in English. It's a European app.
You can download it?
Yeah, you can download it on Play Store, yeah.
Right, shall we carry on? So now that's you can do your ziyarat now. So wherever you want to go, I think have they closed most of them or?
The Makkah Sharif Ziyarah is closed, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Ministry of Hajj
Okay.
will allow you to go out for Ziyarah in Makkah at all, unless you go privately and get a taxi. But the Shirka buses and the Ministry of Hajj coaches have been completely
Okay.
banned from taking any groups out for Ziyarah in Makkah.
So if you want to go privately, you can. So you can basically just spend your time wisely. Do as much tawafs as you like. If you want to do Umrah, you can as well in this time because your Hajj is finished now. Okay, so you can do Umrah if you like, but like we say in the Hanafi Mazhab, doing more tawaf is better than doing a lot of Umrahs. Okay, is more rewardable than doing lots of tawaf, than reading or performing lots of umrahs. If you do umrah, you have to go out to Tan'im, Masjid Aisha to be more specific. Go out towards Masjid Aisha, put your ihram on, from there come into the state of ihram, then you have to come back in. Okay, but again, it's better to just perform more tawaf, do 7 rounds, read nafal, do another 7 rounds, read nafal, like that. Okay, do as much ziyarats as you can. When is your time to leave Makkah? That is, wherever you're going, either you're going towards Medina Sharif or you're coming back to the UK. Wherever you're going towards, then it's wajib upon us as outsiders to do a thing called tawaful wida. Okay, the farewell tawaf. The farewell tawaf. This is again just 7 rounds with 2 rakats after it. Yes, so normal as we do 7 rounds, you won't be in ihram though. You will do kiss Hajar Aswad, start your tawaf out, kiss Hajar Aswad like we said 8 times. Okay, do your tawaf as per normal. After it, read 2 nafal, and then that's your farewell tawaf. Then you will leave the masjid. Yes, leave your masjid, cut your coaches, whatever, and that's it. Your Hajj is over. Congratulations. So that's your Hajj. If you go towards, most likely people will now go towards Medina. If you got the Hajj and Umrah book, we've written extensively in the Hajj and Umrah book how to do the ziyarah in Medina Sharif. The main ziyarah obviously is visiting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just to give you in a nutshell, is that you, once you enter the masjid, try to read in Riyazul Jannah, try to read next to the mihrab of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, there's the pillar of Tawbah there, try to find the pillar of Tawbah, and you can pray there as well, 2 rakats. But the main ziyarah is to visit the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when you go there, there's a badge there, which has the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam's name on it, says Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the green badge. Stand directly in front of that. They say that if you're standing directly in front of that, or in line with that, then you are facing the blessed face of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. Then at this point, you give your salam to the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. Read as much as you can. Okay, and people who have given this salams for you to present to the Prophet, give their salams as well. It's always adab to mention the person's own name and then his father's name after it as well. Okay, so we'll say Fulan bin Fulan. Okay, or in English, if you're doing it, then so and so, the son of so and so. If it's a lady, then so and so, the daughter of so and so. You can do it in this way. Present your salam in that way. Make as much du'as there as you can. Use the wasil of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala wasallam. Use him as an intermediary. Use him as a wasila. And make du'a. Then we move about half a meter, I believe, towards your left hand side. And you will be in line with another badge which will have the name of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Again, if you're in line with that, you're in line with the blessed head, and you are facing directly towards Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. You again present your salam to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq as well. You can make dua here as well for yourself. You can ask him to intercede on your behalf to the Prophet, so that he intercedes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, and ask him to intercede to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam includes you in his intercession on the Day of Judgment. Yes, so in that sense, once you've done that, then you move again about half a meter towards your left hand side. You will be in line with Sayyidina Umar al-Faruq radiallahu ta'ala. And okay, just a bit of advertisement, I've started a Sahaba series as well. So the first person we're looking at is Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. It starts not this Sunday, the Sunday after, the 5th of August, inshallah. Anyway, once you've done that, present your salam there. Okay, and there are salawat books out there. In the Hajj and Umrah book of Essential Islam, we've got it in there as well, so you can use that. Once you've given him salam, and same method, ask him to intercede for you, make dua there. If you got a chance, you can come in between them. Present both of them salams. Again, ask both of them this time to, not going to go, where is it? To present, to become interceders for you to the Prophet ﷺ, that both of them ask the Prophet to include you in the Prophet's intercession. Okay? You can do that. And then if you get a chance, go backwards and then come back to the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. Okay? But sometimes that's hard. Okay? You're not running away, you're not going anywhere, there's no deadlines to meet. Medina seems to be a city which is nice and relaxed. Okay? There's nothing wrong if the shurta says to you, the police officer says to you to go out, there's nothing wrong for you to go out and maybe wait half an hour to get back to where you were. Yes? There's nothing wrong with doing that, is there? Yes? You're not going anywhere. You're here to spend time with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So just go around and carry on. So come back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and present your salams again and make dua here. And if you can, go to Ashab Sufa, sit there. You can go on the other side. I'm not sure. Somebody showed me a picture where they had a gate in front of it. You know where the door towards the Hujra is? Babi Jibra'il. They had it blocked off at one time. I don't know if this is it still blocked. He was in, but he said that they had it blocked as well. This is where the door is and the padlocks on it as well. If you can get there, you can pray two nafils there as well. You can sit there, make dua. If I tell you a little secret, you see lots of domes. Yes, are they silver or white? Silver, aren't they? Around the green dome. Yes, these domes were made by the Ottomans. They actually signify specific places of blessings where specific events took place. So again, if you can read that calligraphy, it'll tell you what each. If you're looking at the dome, it'll tell you where you're standing. Okay. The thing was that the Ottomans wanted to sign everything and tell you where everything was. Okay, but they had a dilemma that they just didn't want to put pillars everywhere. Yes, signposts on pillars, where the people going to pray? Yes, there's enough pillars in the masjid already. So what they did was they played clever, and they made those little domes. So if you just look up and if you can read the calligraphy, you know exactly where you are and what that specific place is for. And some of the domes are small, some of them are big. The bigger ones represent a bigger event or something greater that took place in that place. But the main pillar that you'll see is the pillar of Tawbah, where one of the companions, when he did something and then the Prophet said that we'll have to wait for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you now. He tied himself to that. We call it the pillar of Tawbah. That's one of the main pillars near Riyadul Jannah. It's in Riyadul Jannah, yes. So you can pray next to that, inshallah. That has a sign on it as well that tells you that it's the pillar of Tawbah. Again, in the Essential Islam Guide, I'm telling you, I'm advertising it, but we haven't got them anymore. They're out of stock. Our second edition is out of stock. Do dua that we can get third edition out. The first edition we had, but we added to it in the second edition. In the second edition, we actually mapped out the whole of the Masjid al-Nabawi in that. So we told you where specific makans were. We actually did the tahqiq as well of the hujra itself, of how the graves were situated, and we did tahqiq as well of how many domes there are as well. Yes, there's not one dome, there are altogether 3 domes over the grave of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. One's white, one's blue, and one's green. Okay, we don't tahqiq on that, they're all in there inshallah, so you can have a look in there. And there's a specific method as well. But this is your Hajj. We've also made a quick map, so to speak, of Jannatul Baqi. We wanted to add in all the companions that are buried there, but the book can't handle it. Yes, I mean, if you want another 20 or 25, 30 odd pages, and then one map, it's kind of hard to handle. So we just made sure that we just note the main companions that are buried within Jannatul Baqi, including the Ahlul Bayt of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. I'll stop there and I'll ask if you've got any questions.